Yorktown Victory Center 105 artillery demonstration. Today we're going to be talking about our two pieces over here. Before I start talking, I have a question for you guys. What would we call that right there? A cannon. Well, that is a good name for it. That's sort of like going to a restaurant and asking for a soda. What's the next question they're going to ask you? What kind? Exactly. There are three main types of cannons in the time period. This first one here is more specifically a gun, and more specifically than that, a 6-pound light brass battalion gun. Now that is quite a mouthful. So I'm going to go ahead and break it down for you a little bit. The first part of that name is 6 pounds. Any guess at what part of that cannon is 6 pounds? I can guarantee you the cannon itself is not 6 pounds. It's pretty heavy. The ball, exactly. This ball right here is 6 pounds. Now it's a light gun because that is made of brass. Anybody know what other type of material they were making cannons out of at the time? Iron. Well, brass and bronze are interchangeable, but iron guns are the other main type of guns that they're making. Now those iron guns are much heavier, but they're cheaper. So these brass ones are a little bit more expensive. They're better at distributing that heat from the cannon, and they're much lighter, so they make great field artillery pieces. Now that cannon over there is going to be used on the field. This is a light 6-pound brass battalion gun. That battalion gun is used on the open battlefield to shoot at lines of men. Now what they're shooting at these lines of men from about 1,000 yards is going to be this right here, the cannonball. Now in the movies, what happens when you see that ball hit the ground? It explodes. You get a big explosion. You folks want to see a giant explosion today? Yes. All right, here it goes. Well, what happened? Is it a dud? Nope. This will not explode. This is a solid ball of iron. It will never explode. Its sole purpose is to go a long distance. It is a solid 6-pound ball of iron that's meant to take out troops. I'm going to be firing this at your lines. Your lines may be 2 to 3 ranks deep. Now, when I fire one shot, how many men do you think it's going to take out? 1, 2, 3.
5.
So, say this ball goes straight through this line right here. It takes you out, sir, and it takes you out behind you. So, how are you feeling? You're not feeling very much at all. Now, how are these people around them feeling who just witnessed that?
They fall down.
Well, they're probably going to be pretty scared. And next time they hear that cannon going off, what are they thinking about doing?
Running.
They're thinking about running. And I want you to get you to run. Because if you run, then I can take the battlefield. And taking the battlefield is the way you win in the 18th century. It's not about killing everyone. All right, so now that I've scared some of you, the rest of you, as good soldiers, should be doing what? That hole in that line. Filling it in. So say you do keep filling in that line. You guys are all well-trained soldiers, and you continue advancing and advancing. You're starting to get pretty close to me, and that solid shot isn't working very much. I might have to switch my ammunition to this right here. Case, canister, or in the sea service, grape shot. Now this is going to be used to kill you. This is no longer as much a tool of intimidation as it is an effective killing tool. Now at about 300 yards, I'm going to start firing this, maybe even double loading it, and it's going to shoot these hard iron balls out of this case right here. That case is going to be destroyed when it comes out of the cannon, and it's going to turn my cannon into essentially a giant shotgun. Now there is one problem with this. It is a pretty effective killing tool, so why am I not using it all the time? It doesn't go very far. It has the same limitations as a shotgun, and that is going to be range. Now, you know that cannons can be used for 2 things. 1, intimidation. 2, killing. There's another thing that these cannons can be used for. Maybe not particularly a light gun like this, but heavier guns can be used to break fortifications, siege guns. Now this is pretty good, and a 6-pound ball may work in attacking a fortification, but what's better than a 6-pound shot? 12 pounds. Bigger, 12 pounds, 16 pound, or maybe even a 24-pound shot. Now at the siege of Yorktown, we are going to have these larger guns provided by the French. The British actually have more guns than us. Unfortunately for them, they're smaller pieces and they're not as effective in sieges. So these larger pieces of artillery are going to make for much more effective siege weapons. Now, instead of firing straight at your fortifications, what else could I do? Any other suggestions? I can shoot it up and over. Now this gun is only used to shoot from anywhere from 0 to 5 degrees. That's not going to be shooting up and over. But this is a mortar. Now a mortar is a different type of cannon. Its function is to shoot up and over things. Now I can put it from anywhere from 45, and say if I was shooting at 45 degrees, I can hit those people up in the bleachers up there.
Oh, thank you.
Now, if I put it all the way up to 65, I can clear the museum and hit it right in the parking lot. So it's going to be a very effective tool for that. Now, it is using a different type of ammunition. Any guess at what this is called? Think of your Saturday morning cartoon.
A bomb.
This is a bomb. Now this isn't going to be firing solid shot because that wouldn't be very effective just lobbing solid balls of iron and trying to hit a single person. So it's not going to be very good for that. So what we're doing is taking hollow iron balls filled with gunpowder, and they're also going to have a fuse at the top. Now this fuse can vary in length. Say I want it to have a nice long fuse and roll into your trench. That's going to land right there. What are you folks thinking about doing right there?
Running.
You're thinking about running. If you're running, are you doing your job?
No.
No. If you're not doing your job, you're not rebuilding your earthworks, you're not firing back at me, then this is a pretty effective tool. Now there's another way I could use this. I could cut that fuse short. Now if I have a short fuse, where is that bomb going to explode?
In the air.
Yep, it's going to explode in the air. Can you hide from it when it explodes in the air? No, not really. So that's going to be a very effective killing tool. Now, to use these cannons, you're going to need a very well-trained crew. So what I'm going to do today is have a few folks from the audience come and help me do dry fire this weapon here. Anybody want to help me out? You right there. You right there. You over there. And you over there. All right, you four come on down. You guys can be on my cannon crew today, but I'm going to need one last member from the audience. Somebody perhaps with military experience. All right, you over there, you had your hand up the whole time. You were pretty enthusiastic, so come on over. You're going to be our gun captain today. So I'm going to ask you a question, sir. Have you ever commanded an 18th century artillery crew?
No, I have not.
Well, that's okay because I have a cheat sheet for you today. But before I give you that, I'm going to give you a symbol of your authority. You can go ahead and put this over your left hip. So you are going to be our gun captain. Go ahead and set that down. All right, looks like we got a pretty good crew today. So the first command, I'm going to need you to yell out once you get that situated. All right. This is the one that we usually use. Is it sitting there good? All right. Now our crew looks like they're all in line. So you can go ahead and once you get that belt tightened up, yell out that first command.
Crew, attention!
All right, they're gonna have eyes forwards, no smiles, chest out, stomach in. Expect your crew. Tell me how they look today. All right, very, very good. All right, you can go right back where you were, and then shout out that next command.
Load powder!
All right. So our loader is gonna go over here. He's gonna take his brass ladle, dip in that fudge barrel, which is gonna be full of black powder. He's going to take that ladle, hold it up high, and take that powder to the back of that barrel into the breech and load it up so we have that charge to launch the bomb. All right. So once he's got that powder loaded up, he's going to wait for that next command, which is...
Load bomb!
All right, so he's going to come up and get his ammunition to put in the bomb, or put in the mortar, excuse me. He's going to take that bomb and run it up. Now, which way should he load that bomb? Fuse out or fuse in? Fuse out would probably be the better way. Now, say I load it fuse in, and that wooden plug right here gets pushed in by the concussive force and blows up in the cannon. Is that going to be very safe? No, I have to draft a whole new crew. So what I'm going to do is take my chances. It may not light every time, but it's going to be a lot safer if I light it fuse out, because that flash is going to come and usually light it from the outside. I'd rather have it have a few times where it doesn't light than have it blow up in the cannon. All right, next command.
Give 65 degrees.
All right, so our mathematician's going to go up there with our gunner's quadrant and adjust the elevation of the mortar. Now he's doing this to perhaps reach a target that has a little bit taller wall. So it's going to give it a little bit less range, but it's going to give it more arc. So then once it's at 65 degrees, he's going to shout that command back. The gunner can confirm that he's got the right height.
65 degrees.
All right. So our crew is ready for the next command.
What do you think?
All right, our bombardier is going to go up to the front, and he's going to clear that vent, making sure that there's a clear path for the fuse for the gunpowder to go through. Once he's picked it out, he's going to yell,
Clear.
all right, and ready for the next command.
Run!
Now he's going to go into his cartridge box, pull out a gunpowder priming charge, rip it open swiftly with his teeth because those British are coming. We don't have very much time. Dump that powder right there in the front so he makes a good fuse, and toss it over his shoulder when he's done. All right, they're ready for that next command.
Make ready!
All right, now our final gun crew is going to come up here with their lint sock. That's going to be a burning piece of slow match on the end of a long stick, and that's how we're going to light that gunpowder fuse in the back of the cannon. Now, before you give that last command, the battlefield is going to be a smoky, loud place. We're going to need a visual cue as well as an auditory cue. So what I'm going to have you do is take that sword. Do you remember that last command? I can go ahead and take that from you. You're going to pull it out with your right hand, lift it up high above your hand, and then you can yell that last command.
Fire!
And you should hear a loud boom. Now this is firing bombs, so what should we hear downrange? Another
Boom.
All right, do you think we hit our target today, Gun Captain?
Think so?
All right, very good. Let's give our crew a round of applause. Well, now that we've run a dry fire, you guys can go ahead and give back your tools, and we're going to have our crew get ready to go ahead and fire this off for real this time. It's going to be significantly louder. Did you folks bring any earplugs today? No. Actually, you did. You can either use your hands or your arms or anything to cover your ears. If you have a hearing assistance device, I recommend that you turn that off now. And everybody, I'm going to ask you to be standing on your own 2 feet, not leaning up against the fence or anything for safety reasons. But it is going to be pretty loud. All right. Well, you guys are going to be able to cover your hands, but what is our gun crew not going to be able to do? Cover our ears, exactly. So what we're going to have to do is use earplugs. Now there is no historical record for them using earplugs. That's probably why artillerists were paid a little bit more because that hazard pay, often losing their hearing. But due to safety regulations, they make us wear them, and I'm pretty glad about that too. So once my crew's all ready, we're going to go ahead and load and fire it for you folks. Looks like my crew's just about ready. Crew, attention! Load, powder! Take that powder charge. Sometimes they'd have pre-made charges. You're going to make sure that's seated nice in the back of the barrel. Load, bomb! You're going to take the bomb, in our case today, a tinfoil bomb. And normally you wouldn't ram the bomb down, but we want to make sure it gets a nice tight seal. Clear, vent. Clear. Prime. Make ready. All right, now on the count of 3, I'm going to have you guys yell fire. I'm going to go ahead and practice it once. 1, 2, 3.
Fire!
All right, sounds good. Now we're going to do it for real. 1, 2, 3.
Fire!
Tinfoil.
Vomiting, purging, and the like.
Tinfoil went on.
That's going to be a very practical part of our camp, but thanks for coming down. If you guys have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them, but enjoy the rest of your day. Oh, yeah.